Hey everyone, welcome back to Pretending with Dice. As always, I'm your host and game master, AJ. Before we get into today's episode, I wanted to announce officially that we will be returning to Dragonmeet once again for the 2025 podcast zone. For those who don't know, Dragonmeet is one of the UK's biggest tabletop RPG conventions. We've had a ton of fun there every year that we've been, alongside a whole host of other amazing podcasts, and you can come along and see all of us. This year looks to be bigger and better than ever as the convention has moved to the London XL Centre for the first time, which is super exciting. It's happening on Saturday, November 29th from 9 a.m. I'd 100% recommend heading to dragonmeet.co.uk for all the details and for tickets and everything. It's going to be a really great day. We absolutely can't wait to be back there, and we can't wait to see all of you there too. Come along to the podcast zone area and say hi. I'm going to be there. Eden's going to be there. A lot of our friends from Penance RPG and other podcasts are going to be there. It's just a really fun time, so head to dragonmeet.co.uk for more info. Finally, before we jump into this episode, I also wanted to give a big thanks to our guest voices this time around. We got our friend ReprobateGamer rejoining us, who previously provided a voice on the Flight of the Nelson episode. We got Cassie and Sam from the Lovely Craftians back once more. And finally, once again, we got Nikolai from Penance RPG. Huge thanks to all of them. They've all done absolutely incredible jobs, and everyone should 100% go and check out their stuff. Alright then, I think that just about does it for this intro. Without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. Streets of Shal'kara, Part 2. Enjoy. It has been, I think, around 4 hours since the away team, fully disguised through surgical and other means, as members of the local populace, beamed down to the surface of Shal'kara, Golden Palace, just outside the capital city of Shal'kara. Dr Ireela, you, however, elected to stay aboard the Tenzing, monitoring the medical condition of the team through data being streamed up from the surface from the sort of subtle diagnostic devices that the team are wearing as bracelets. I think while you've not been in direct comms contact with them, you've definitely had access to the real-time data from these bracelets the whole time. Where do you think you would have been during the mission so far? On the bridge? Sickbay?
Probably from sickbay. That seems like the easiest way, since Ireela's not really anticipating them having any major issues while they're there. She trusts them to be reasonable and sensible for the most part. Yeah.
I think, though, as you suggested, the kind of biomonitor bracelets, I think maybe you've kind of passively got that up on a screen just in case anything happens. While you're doing other work, would that be sort of safe to say?
Probably. Yeah. The main concern was the coming back with the slight deficiencies so quickly.
Yeah.
They weren't there for very long.
No. I think that's what prompted this sort of putting the medical devices on the team now this time around, wasn't it? I think, as we said, you're kind of doing some other work, but you've got a larger screen in your office that I think is probably showing everybody's vitals. I don't think you really get a sort of flashing kind of danger sort of thing pop up. But I think throughout the course of the mission, you've been kind of watching it and noticed specifically in Fel and Rai, certain levels just begin to dip out of a safe zone, and I think we're at about the point where you would start to get concerned. This is just on Fel and Rai, though. Everybody else seems kind of where they should be. No sort of notable changes, really.
Okay, so there's something that is affecting the Trill only.
Yeah.
Well, that is certainly a good way of those in charge being able to work out if people they don't necessarily want there have arrived.
I mean, everyone on the team's wearing the bracelets. I can confirm the other 3 are normal levels across the board.
Can't remember if... I don't think we sent them down with any supplements.
I think you maybe gave like a small med pack full of them.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, I do think you did put together like a little pack. So we could say maybe Fel's got that in her satchel. Because I think at the time you were just worried about Fel.
Yeah. Is it possible for me to contact them discreetly?
Yes, they're wearing basically the equivalent of like in-ear communicators that visible to anybody who's talking to them or, by them, but they can definitely hear transmissions.
Okay.
And they would be able to talk back. It just would look a little bit weird to anybody talking to them. But
there's 5 of them. I'm sure they can stand in a circle or something.
Yeah. But yes, no, you're totally able to call down to them if you want to.
Okay. Commander Ireela to Fel and Rai.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Doc.
Some of your nutrient and biomarkers are starting to fall again. For both of you, actually. It would be wise for you to each take 1 dose of the medicine that I sent with you, and be aware that potentially this will continue or accelerate the longer you are on the planet.
Oh, great.
It's not at a dangerous speed, but we will need to keep monitoring it closely. It appears to only be affecting the Trill.
Wow, doesn't that make me feel special?
Speculatively, it may not be a natural environmental effect. It may be a gentle warning system, given the potential background and history of this planet.
I suddenly feel like a target.
I think that suspicion would be wise.
Understood, Doctor. We're just in the process of getting some lodgings. Once we've got ourselves a couple of rooms, we'll dose ourselves up and let you know if anything changes.
Excellent. Keep us informed.
Certainly will. Rai and Fel out.
So that's an interesting hypothesis there. That this is some kind of anti-Trill targeted deterrent of some sort. I don't know how. Yeah.
It could be.
That's a good thought. I like it.
It's potentially difficult to do, but certainly if there was an environmental thing, there would be no incentive for them to try and fix that issue.
Interesting thought. More investigation needed, I think.
One of the things that will be interesting for Ireela is when they do have a meal and take in proper nutrition while on the planet, and seeing how the levels interact at that point.
Right.
Because they could restore back up to normal, or they could tank, or it could have 0 effect. So,
based on local food, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, if they have food or liquids that have a decent amount of something in them. Yes, medically that'll be interesting.
Yeah. It's tough to know when you would know when they're going to eat and that, but I think maybe it would just be a case of that's something that Ireela's got in mind, and it's just going to be kind of keeping an eye on the numbers, I guess. And yeah. Any immediate, sudden jumps or whatever would be a case of checking and be like, what just happened? Maybe something. What are you doing?
What did you just do?
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you? What are you doing? Yeah. Definitely something to keep in mind then. Okay. So I think when this call happened, like, the group was sort of in one of these little side streets here, so you've just kind of stopped for a second, but there was nobody close enough to you to sort of give you any suspicious looks or anything like that. And, so you think you got away with a call. You kept it quite brief as well, so that was, fine. So looking around, I think the security officers don't see anybody paying you any undue attention at all. So yeah, I think the brief call over, you continue to follow the directions given to you just a minute ago by the waitress in the cafe, continuing to make your way along these sort of small side streets. You shortly come to the outside of I think a 3-story building. A lot like most of the architecture around here, it's the same kind of like ornamented sandstone construction. There is a sign on the outside which in the local alphabet reads Falmar's Lodging House.
This looks like the place.
I think Hymek, who's been kind of taking point this whole time, sort of steps up to the door, gives you a nod, and pushes it open.
Fel was like looking at stalls and stuff. Did they perhaps pick up what currency was being used?
Not specifically. I think in general all of you will have noticed that there were stalls, like, you know, as you've been moving, there is definitely currencies, coins of a certain type. You just haven't been able to get hold of them yet.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so following Hymek then into the lodging house, you find yourself in a kind of little lobby area. Behind the desk as you walk into this, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's quite a sort of humble building on the inside, at least this kind of like lobby area. Floors are wood of some sort, walls painted white, and there's a sort of, I guess like a check-in desk kind of thing, but behind it is a kind of elderly looking male, as far as you can tell, member of the local species who looks up as you come in. Again, not like properly frail looking, but yeah, definitely in his later years, let's say. He looks up as you all kind of file into the room. Hello.
Good day, sir. Apologies for dropping in as such, but my companions and I are in town for the festival. We've come to trade, but yes, we've come to do some trading, but we are in need of some lodgings for the next couple of nights, and we were told that your establishment might have some rooms or at least some beds free for us to use.
Just let me check. Pulls a big foot forward.
Does he slam it down and dust fly everywhere?
Yeah, sure, why not? Very slowly licks a finger and turns a page in it. You're in luck. I've got one room remaining.
One room is better than no room. How many beds?
Well, there are 3. Sort of looks up and you see, I don't know if that's going to be enough for you. We can pull some blankets in from the... it's not the most comfortable, but won't be the same as having a bed. But you got to understand that at the festival in town, all of our rooms are full.
I completely understand. One room will be fine. We'll make it work. Extra blankets, if you have them, would be great. Thank you very much. We'll take it.
He turns behind him and grabs a key off of a sort of pegboard type thing. Follow me, and begins making his way out from behind the counter towards a staircase on the right-hand side of the room. He's moving kind of slowly, I will say. So, while you can easily follow him, you're kind of doing that thing of like, he's slower than our normal walk speed. And it begins
I'll just trudge behind him.
Yeah.
Like penguins waddling to the festival toilets.
Well, he begins to make his way up the stairs and in front of you. It's on the 3rd floor. Is this your first time in the city?
Yes, it is. It's our first time visiting not just the festival, but the city in general.
Where do you hail from?
Ray just nudges Murphy with an
elbow.
Take your time.
Think up lies quicker.
I can't. There's a specific place that we were supposed to say. I can't remember.
Yeah, but not from the South Continent, because
north?
the South Continent was like ecologically devastated.
Yes, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was trying to find my note on that. We're from the northeast.
Oh, the northeast. Very wet this time of year. Doesn't do my bones any good.
No, definitely nice and warmer down here.
Gets to the top of the first set of steps. Nearly there.
Given that it's our first time in the city, you wouldn't have a local guide available to help us?
Well, I can ask my grandson. He might be able to show you around. Could always use some pocket money.
Oh, indeed. That's another thing that we need to procure. We have things to trade, but no coin.
I can point you towards the marketplace if that's any help.
Yes, that would be a great help. Thank you.
Won't get too far in this city without coin, but thankfully I don't charge till you check out. Well, up we go again. Get to the second set of steps. What sort of things you bring in trade?
Murphy nudges Ray. Duke.
We have various materials with us, textiles and new threads, new colour schemes we wanted to put around the market.
Oh, well, one of my age doesn't change their fashions so often, but the youngsters these days are into all kinds of crazy things you never would have thought of in my day.
How long it's been since you were this old, Ray?
Murphy's coughing behind, trying not to laugh out loud behind them.
So yeah, you make it up to the top floor, and he brings you along a corridor and unlocks a room with the key. Opens the door, sort of gestures you all inside. I'll go get those other blankets. Make yourselves at home.
Will do. Thank you very much.
You're a nice young man. Fel is hiding a smirk.
I kind of smile a little bit, but I notice what Fel's trying to do, so I just go, shut it. And then turn and walk into the room.
Okay.
Murphy's just quietly chuckling and just winks at Fel.
It's a decent-sized room that you've got here. One wall has 3 single beds along it. There is a window which you look out and get a beautiful, lovely view of the building next door's wall, about 6 feet away from you. Just so it's not great, but it's quiet. There's that. The window is slightly cracked, open. Not cracked as in broken, but like it's been opened and that. It's, let in a bit of fresh air, although it's it's still quite warm. You do find inside though that it is cooler inside. The building's clearly built to design, for this kind of weather environment, and it's seems to be dealing with the heat a little better. It's definitely a few degrees cooler in here than it was outside. Other than that, though, not a lot going on in this room. There's obviously there's a chair in the corner. There's always a chair in the corner. And a small desk, I guess, along one wall as well. But pretty sparse otherwise.
I'm sure we could hang some hammocks.
No, I'm sure this will do just fine.
Shortly, the old man returns with an armful of blankets and stuff. So, I know it's not a lot, but hopefully you don't mind a couple of you roughing it on the floor with these. All we've got, I'm afraid.
It's much appreciated.
Indeed, we'll manage. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, enjoy your stay. I'll be downstairs if you need me. Hands you the key and hobbles off.
Right. Now we've got ourselves somewhere. I think it's time Fel and I took our medicinal supplements from the good doctor. Ray reaches into a pack to get his.
Fel sits down in the chair and just puts a satchel on her lap, just opens it up.
We need to find out what's causing this as soon as possible. I feel terrible.
Agreed.
She injects herself with a hyper spray.
Yep. Ray does the same. There we are. Okay, next steps. We need to find the marketplace and start getting some intel.
And money. Any local currency we can get can be sent up to Tenzing for replication.
That's very true. It would save us having to expose ourselves.
I will not be exposing myself.
And I'm glad of it. Let's just focus on getting some intel from the market and trying to get a bit of cash on our side. How do we want to do this? Do we want to split the away team up and cover different areas of the market at the same time?
Well, yeah, probably now that we've got a base to return to, that's probably a good idea. Means we cover more ground.
Might be a good idea to have one of us stay in the room for this first jaunt out to the market. So we can report in through them to the ship if we need to.
Between the two of you, how are you and Fel doing? It'll probably be best if one of you rested.
We've not long taken the medication.
Yeah, I think it doesn't kick in immediately, but like it's definitely you're probably set for the next couple of hours. You're fine.
Okay.
Maybe we do it in a shift basis then. If, say, for example, if Hymek stay behind initially, then in a couple of hours' time, one of us would come back and swap out, and he'd take their place.
Yeah, that sounds good. I was going to probably suggest Hymek as well because he's the one that stands out the most.
I think as the only member of the team who's like not wearing prosthetics, Hymek's probably a good choice to not be going to the market and trying to talk people into stuff. The rest of you kind of blend in a little bit better. He's just kind of got a head covering on. He hasn't got any of the sort of more cosmetic surgery stuff, done to him.
Yeah. Hymek can stay in. We can swap out.
You okay with this arrangement, Hymek?
If this is orders, there is no problem.
Okay, then it's settled. Just make sure we head down there with materials we brought with us.
We could stop by the old man and check on if his grandson is nearby as well.
Yes, he did promise us a guide.
Yep.
I will contact Tenzing with the location of our safe house.
Good.
Right. Let's go sell some fabrics.
Yay! At last! The reason I joined Starfleet.
My adventure right here.
Well, the rest of us have a small tour. Get the groundwork.
Oh, so to be clear then, so you're not all going to the marketplace. Ray's going to the marketplace, is that right? And then
Yeah. So we'll get down to the area. We'll split up. Two of us will wander around the market, and the other two can get a lay of the land.
Probably a good idea that Fel comes. We split the two trill up as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So that the two security because Johnny and Murphy together is just two security officers, so it'd probably just be easier having one with each group.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, if one of the two trill suffer any bad side effects after the medication wears off, the last thing you want is those two to be trapped without assistance in the marketplace or wherever else. So, yeah, good idea.
Exactly. Johnny, I'm going to put the old man in your care.
Aye, sir.
Hopefully he doesn't get you shot.
Yeah, I should hope not. I'm going to look at Ray. and try and gauge his response to that.
Ray's just kind of like, yeah, great way to instill confidence in the ensign.
Hopefully we're not going to need any of our phasers or any of that stuff here. We're just going to sell some fabric, right?
Yeah, I don't think you will. I think it'll be a nice, easy, chatty mission.
All we need to do is commit to the bit, keep up the pretense that we're traders, and just not be too suspicious in what we say and do, and we should be fine.
Sounds easy enough.
But
Fel and I will hang out with the grandson and check about some of the sites.
before we go off on our own directions, any sign of trouble at all, get to a secluded spot and make arrangements to be taken out of there. Emergency beam out, hide, do what you need to. I don't suspect we're going to have any trouble, but just be vigilant.
He says to the chief of security and a security officer. So the four of you head downstairs then, and waiting for you by the front desk is I want to say, it's tough to gauge the age because you don't really know the species that well, but let's just say there's like a 12-year-old waiting for you next to the desk. His grandfather is sort of talking to him. They seem like nice people. Just show them around wherever they want to go, and I've got some money for you here. But if you're nice to them, maybe they'll give you something extra. Sort of nods. It's clearly like he's on the edge of entering sullen teenager mode, but maybe not quite hitting that age just yet. The old man looks up as you come down and says, "Oh, here they come now. Hello."
Good day. I take it this is your grandson.
Yes, this is my grandson. He's called Reyvell.
Oh, hi. Welcome to our city. I'm happy to show you around.
Thank you. It's our first time being able to come to festivals, so we're very unaware of where things are. So any help you can provide would be very much appreciated.
Oh, totally. I know all the best places.
Wonderful. Would you like to take us on a tour of a few?
Sure thing. Follow me.
Ray, Johnny, I'll see you later.
Best of luck.
Yep, we'll see you later.
So Reyvell leads Fel and Murphy off into the city. Before Johnny, you and Ray follow, the old man hands you a piece of paper. Here, follow these directions. They should get you to the nearest marketplace.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Good fortune to you on this festival weekend. And he waves you off as you also leave the lodging house. So let's follow the tour group first. As you kind of are saying, like, first time here, Reyvell leads Murphy and Fel kind of not back the way you came round the canals, but back onto one of the kind of more main thoroughfares. Obviously, you haven't been this way before, but you've got a pretty good sense of direction and everything. And he's definitely heading back towards the center of the city.
You're going to want to see the plaza first, for sure. Come on, it's this way.
As it leads you through the streets, it's definitely getting busier the closer to the center of the city you get. I mean, that's kind of to be expected anyway, but these crowds, you're seeing a lot more people sort of dressed like you in kind of traveler sort of garb as you go. Reyvell is kind of keeping up a little bit of a running commentary as you're going.
This place on the corner here does a really good saber fruit smoothie.
Uh-huh.
Probably not as good as Alzaire's on the harbor, but still pretty great.
Oh, no kidding.
Me and my friends come here all the time. Oh, this bakery here, they do like really good gingerbread. My mom gets it for us on special occasions.
Oh, uh-huh.
He's putting out a lot of kind of food emporiums and shops and things, but as you get further and further into sort of the more sort of central areas of the city, as much as the whole city has ornamentation, you're seeing more and more in the way of kind of statues and things are a little bit more ornate in general. But it's not long before he brings you to a wide open area. Clearly the plaza he mentioned when he started the tour. And to be honest, he's probably right. This is an impressive place that you definitely would have wanted to see. It's tough to tell. Obviously, you don't have a map, but it definitely feels like this is a kind of central hub for the city of sorts. There's many main roads leading off of it. Size-wise, it's easily a couple of 100 meters across. This is a big open area. Much like the rest of the city, this is paved and ornamented in gold. Definitely some very intricate carvings and just general kind of accoutrements about the whole thing. The main feature, though, is immediately striking. Around the perimeter of the plaza stand a ring of 6 huge statues, all about 35, maybe 40 meters tall, and all of humanoid figures, looking inwards to the plaza itself. There's a variety of poses amongst the statues. They're not all identical. You can see some differences in the facial features as well. These are clearly different individuals that have been depicted here. As I say, variety in the poses. There's some seem to be sort of pointing, some are holding various artifacts that you are unsure of the origin of, some the hand on a blade. As you look, yeah, they are all depicted in similar garments. Quite noble, regal-looking robes, much more fine-seeming than any that you've seen worn by the populace. And all are wearing identical sort of accessories as necklaces and bracelets and rings. They are the same on every statue. The one thing that you do notice, though, is that despite there being quite noticeable differences in the facial features and whatnot, all of the figures have been depicted with trill spots on the sides of the face, achieved with just sort of subtle indentations carved into the stone that the statues are formed from, to just kind of give that slight patterning on the side of the face.
Murphy's just going to nudge Fel. Can you read any of the inscriptions?
Hopefully. Come on, let's go see.
Your little group crosses to the nearest statue. Fel sort of looks at the inscription for a few seconds. It's pretty big, actually. It's like quite, again, as with everything, ornately carved sort of panel at the bottom of the statue. This is clearly meant to be read by a lot of people.
You saw fuel. It's the betting all of these are different Yules.
I think a quick walk around the plaza confirms this as well. All of them have inscriptions below them. Different first names, but all of them Yule. I can give you the first names if you like.
Yeah.
So you've got Musoff Yule, Lacem Yule, Casto Yule, Otem Yule, Einvol Yule, and finally Mipril Yule. No sign of a Parval Yule, which was the name that Lady Reyvell gave you, but the Yule is consistent throughout all of these.
If we think of Parval being the first one to arrive, and then there's been 6 others, that's like a 50-year term over the 300 years. So every 50 years, they've changed. They've gotten a new body or a new host for the symbiote.
Are you saying this out loud, or are you...
I'm like thinking this.
Okay.
But...
just to remind you, there is the
yeah, there is the child.
Yeah.
But I'm probably going to like quietly say it to Fel.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the kid is hovering around. He's not like right up next to you. Fel, though, kind of does sort of step up next to you.
Another Yule.
They're all Yule. And if my math's right, each one of these served 50 years before being replaced.
There's no dates on them.
No.
Some of these statues look pretty old.
Reyvell?
Yes, miss?
Remind me, who's the Who's the oldest? I'm not very good with dates.
Oh gosh, we did this in school.
He's never very good at school.
I think he smiles at this.
Well, I love theater and I like choir. I don't like math, but my mom says it's important.
He thinks for a second and then turns and points at one of the statues that you've previously looked at on the far side of the plaza, the one to Casto Yule.
I think this one is the oldest of the Lord's faces, Lord Casto.
And then, who's next?
Oh, I should know this.
He again kind of thinks for a second, then points at the one that you're stood directly under, the one to Mipril Yule.
I think it was this one, Lord Mipril?
I will say, the statues here don't appear to be arranged in any kind of pattern or chronological order as far as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
I think now you've gotten him going, though, he quite quickly points out the order of the rest of them before turning back to you.
I think that's right. Yeah. I can't remember who came before these, though.
There's more before?
Yeah. There's more statues near the palace.
Huh. Do they all have spots?
The holy markings? Yeah.
Holy markings.
And our Lord only is the only one to have these markings.
Of course. They mark him as our rightful ruler, the savior. Even as he changes his face, the markings remain.
Murphy doesn't want to ask why. Because that's just going to be seen as like a blasphemer kind of thing.
I think Fel also picks up on what you're feeling here and just sort of hastily covers.
That's right, Reyvell. Sounds like you've learned your lessons well. Great job.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Reyvell. Where to next?
Oh, I can show you the palace.
Oh, yes.
He turns and points to the widest of the roads leading from the square. And you can already see the palace from where you are, but it is the road heading towards it, and it's twice as wide as any of the other streets that you've been on here, including the one that you entered the city from.
This is the Avenue of the Immortal. It goes to the palace.
All along the road, as you make your way, there are signs of preparation for the coming festival. There are barriers being set up, not to fully block off the road itself, but just kind of like to manage the crowds a little bit. And the crowds aren't here right now. I mean, it's busy, but it's the festival is not going on today. But there's prep work being undertaken. Along the road there are trees, not dissimilar to sort of, I don't want to say like palm trees, but they're kind of like tropical, sort of appropriate to the heat that you're in, kind of thing here, set at sort of regular intervals. The buildings lining this road are way more ornately adorned than any of the other ones you've seen. In fact, a lot of them have like almost fully golden sort of frontages. As you're walking, you can't help but, I mean, it's noisy as you're going. You do, I think, just pick up the slight sound of Fel's tricorder as she goes, but she's not taken it out of her pocket. And yeah, Reyvell leads you along the street to the towards the palace, which is it's still some distance away, but it looms over the horizon. It's by far and away the biggest structure in the city itself. A wide kind of, I said like a trapezoid, but it's kind of, yeah, it is like it's like someone's taken a huge pyramid and chopped the top off of it, and you've got the bottom half. And the whole thing is just gold on the outside.
They must have vast gold reserves for the amount of gilding that's all over the city.
Yeah. Hey, cover me a second.
You see her just surreptitiously get her tricorder fully out of her pocket, and she's hiding it in her hands, but she does like a full scan of the building that you're walking past as you go before tucking it back away in her pocket.
Oh, that's solid gold, at least 10 centimeters thick. No cheapskate electroplating here.
Murphy just whistles. Ooh.
This planet must have some incredibly abundant deposits to support all of this. Way more than the average M-class at any rate.
Reyvell brings you along the boulevard pretty much as far as you can go, I think, towards the palace. As you get to the one end of the Avenue of the Immortal, the entire sort of width of the road has been barricaded off. And there's a sort of quite wide open area between the barricades and this large, pretty much unassailable defensive wall that rings the entire palace complex. There's a heavy presence of the armoured city guards that you've seen around, and on the kind of defensive wall you can see guards with even more ornate armour and weapons, just kind of patrolling back and forth. Like I say, heavy presence here. Facing onto the avenue, the encircling wall is broken by a huge set of thick, high gates, which you think during normal times look like they would just kind of open out onto the avenue, but for whatever reason they've kind of cleared this open space just in front of them for the festival. Despite the encircling wall, you can definitely get a really good look at the palace from here. It's just that much taller than everything around it, including the wall. And being able to see through the gates does help. It's tough to kind of get a real idea of what its internal structure might be from here. It looks a bit of an odd design. Huge sections of it have no windows at all. There definitely are windows. You can see some floors that have got light being let in and, just looking kind of like regular building floors, but there's large sections of the outside of it which are just solid panels. Again, all gold, detailed, carved, engraved. It's tough to see from this distance, but it's incredibly impressive. But yes, a little bit inscrutable, really. These large sections that are just fully enclosed. One prominent feature, though, that you can't help but notice, because it's right in front of you, is that behind the gates, on the kind of central face of the palace itself, facing up the Avenue of the Immortal, is a protruding balcony that's sort of sticking out from the side of the structure. Not a huge way, but enough so that it can sort of allow individuals on the inside to kind of take a few steps outside of the sort of quite enclosed interior and be seen from the city around. Well, at least from your current position, it seems. I realised it just sounded an awful lot like Buckingham Palace when I said that. That's not what I was picturing straight away. As soon as I was saying it, I was like, like the Queen had, like totally unplanned there. But you get the idea. There's a sort of a raised balcony that can look down upon the city and be looked back upon by the inhabitants of the city below.
Yeah.
As you look up at it, you can see that there are a few of these more ornately armoured guards just patrolling on it. Compared to the City Watch, actually, I did say that there are some City Watch types about. They're more kind of down on the ground at your level. These ones on the balcony, as opposed to the City Watchman, who kind of just had like a sort of chest plate and maybe and a weapon and that. These guys are definitely more fully armored. They have chest plate, but they also have sort of shoulders, bracers, helmets, and incredibly ornamented with gold. And but they look like they know what they're doing. To your sort of practiced security eye, they are they look like they mean business.
Yeah, it's not just ceremonial.
No, these look like royal guards.
Full on.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive place.
Well, let's not get stuck here.
We ought to go. The guards don't like it when people hang around here too long.
Then we should quickly move on, but it's impressive.
The other important thing I should mention is related to what Reyvell said earlier about there being more statues. This area, you count more of the previous Yules.
Okay.
They're set along the avenue, just at the sort of end approaching the palace, I will say. It is a long road, but they're just kind of up at this end. You count an additional 10 statues.
10 more.
I won't name all the Yules at this point.
I can just assume that they're all Yule.
That's an assumption that could be made, yes.
Seems Yule is the only, supposed survivor.
Or the only one who managed to save himself.
Lord Yule saved all of us.
Shit. Yeah, he sure did, kid.
He saved us from a great deal of, uncertainty.
Yeah. So, you want to see the park?
Lead on, young squire.
He turns to lead you off towards a nearby park, and I think Murphy Fel sort of catches your eye and just does a mock sort of wiping of her forehead, like, "Oof, got away with that." But yes, that is in total 16 different statues of various Yules that you have seen.
Need my calculator now.
Definitely adjusts the I was going to say definitely adjust the equation a little bit. I think at this point we will rejoin Ray and Johnny as they arrive at a marketplace. I think in a city this size, there's any number of different sort of trading spots and marketplaces in different neighborhoods and such. You followed the instructions given to you by Felmar, the old man, and it wasn't a huge distance, I would say, from the lodging house, but you were kind of in the sort of harbourside, docklands area anyway. A lot of cargo coming in, going out, a lot of trade happening, and you found yourself into this kind of I say marketplace, but it's quite a bustling sort of trading sort of square, really. There's a lot of people here. Hopefully you can find some people willing to trade with you.
Right, let's find a place to get set up, I guess. Hopefully it's a free trade kind of a deal.
Ray starts scanning it with his eyes, just scanning, look at the market.
What are you looking for in particular?
Looking for a bit of the market where there's not as much of a crowd, not so much of a kind of bustle going on. And we start with some of the traders that aren't being hassled or aren't being swamped by members of the public to start with.
Okay.
Work our way through them.
And as you've got textiles, are you kind of looking for textile merchants in particular, or are you just kind of looking for general kind of people to sort of just try and pitch to?
We'll start off looking for people that are dealing in other fabrics as well. We'll make that the starting point,
Just so we're clear, what did you bring with you in terms of samples and things?
So I think the plan was we were bringing down a couple of dozen different kind of sample swatches of not necessarily synthetic fabrics, but different kind of embroidery patterns, things that might be eye-catching to people. Some with kind of picture kind of like, some of it is tartan patterned, some of it is kind of got symmetric lines embroidered into it, just various things. They could be considered quite flamboyant, but it's just stuff that can maybe catch the eye and get the interest from people.
All right, well, with that in mind of who you're looking for, then can I get I guess this would be an inside security check from whoever wants to be kind of looking about for who you're looking for.
I'll go for that.
Okay. I think by this point as well, you've probably lost your momentum.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. 17 and a 1.
17 and a 1. Okay. I didn't even get a chance to say that it was going to be difficulty 2, but that 1 is a crit, so that gives you your 2 successes. You're able to kind of, I think, you do kind of a loop of the area. This isn't it's a pretty big market, I will say, not as big of an area as the plaza that Murphy and Fel were shown to, but, it's still a pretty big space. I think maybe you take 5-10 minutes to just kind of do a casual loop around, checking things out. And you're able to identify a couple of trading stores that do seem to be working in fabric and fabric patterns.
I think we should start over there, Johnny.
Let's hope that there's no kind of trade guilds or anything like that around here. Otherwise, we might just have to sell this fabric to them.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I hadn't really thought about that. But in a place such as this, I think there's enough business going on here that we might be okay.
Well, take the lead, sir.
All right. Here we go. So start walking towards this traders.
Mm-hmm. There's a pair of stalls next to each other. At one of them, the trader seems to be having a quite animated discussion with somebody who's trying to sort of make a deal with them. But the other stall has just finished dealing with, closing a deal, and as you approach, looks up.
Honored friends, how may I be of service?
Good day to you, sir. I see potentially you're open to doing business. I was wondering if we might have a discussion.
I am always open to a business discussion.
Splendid, splendid. My friend and I have come in from the northeast. This is our first time in the city, and we were looking to garner some potential interest in some of our fabric and textile wares. Might you be interested in taking a look?
I'll take a look. It's been some time since I've seen any wares from the northeast.
As you begin to get your wares out of your pack, he leans in a little bit conspiratorially.
You are lucky you came to me first, by the way.
He points surreptitiously towards the stall next door, who is still mid-argument with another potential customer.
My neighbor here is a bit of a shark, unscrupulous in his dealings. You would not have gotten a good deal.
A shark, you say?
Yes, indeed.
Is he difficult to deal with? And I start reaching into the pack.
Let's just say he doesn't react well when things don't go his way. Me, however, I don't see why a deal can't be good for all of us. You'll be glad you came to me.
We most certainly are. We have here a rather large selection of new patterned fabrics. We thought some of these might become the new fashion at some point in the future. And Ray lays out a selection of, at this point, just under a dozen different swatches onto the counter.
Okay.
And just spreads them out a little bit, and yeah, like I said, there are ones there with gold trim. There are some there that have kind of a tartan look. Some of them are symmetric patterns that link together, various different colours across the spectrum.
Ian's flipping through them.
That's pretty interesting. Oh, a bit gaudy, this one. Not sure if this would catch on. This one is nice. What are you looking to get for these?
Like I said, this is our first time in the city, and our first time coming to this market. Essentially, we're looking to garner interest. So right now, I would be interested to know what you'd be willing to pay for these materials, and potentially more to come if we were to supply them to you.
Ah.
See him sort of flipping back and forth through them.
This thread is particularly fine. I could see this doing well. Yes.
You see him sort of pushing stuff to one side, like he's discounting some of the ones you brought.
Yeah, the ones he's not too worried about.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Well, I'm not in a position to take anything in large quantities right now. End of the season, you know how it is.
Of course.
But if you could provide 2 bolts of this pattern as a sampler, I'm sure we could come to an equitable arrangement.
Holds up one which is a sort of not synthetic. It's it's made to not feel like, to him, he wouldn't be like, what is this magnificent space age wonder material that I've never seen before?
Absolutely, yeah.
But the patterning that the replicator has produced is quite fine, and yeah.
I can easily get some more of that one for you. We have it at our lodgings.
Good. Well, if you were to procure 2 bolts, I could offer 40 Astera for them.
40? For our first time here, 40 is, I think that's acceptable. Wouldn't you say so, my companion?
Yes, I should think so. And Johnny will try to sagely nod, as if he knows.
We accept. 40 sounds pretty good.
Excellent. Payment on delivery, of course.
Naturally. How long are you here for today? Our lodgings aren't far. We could return before the end of your stint here.
We shall be here for another 2 hours.
Wonderful. We shall return before the end of the day and supply you with materials. Mr.
You can call me Trendall.
Trendall. My name is Sabin. Pleasure to deal with you, and I offer to shake his hand.
Sort of looks at it as if he's not quite sure what to do.
I sort of notice this and retract and I just gently nod. Thank you. We'll be back in a couple of hours. Oh, please, hold on to the sample. I know which one we're bringing.
Of course, thank you. I look forward to receiving the goods.
Indeed. Ray gathers up the other materials that he wasn't able to pass on and puts them back in his pack. And turns around and says to Johnny, mental note, we need more of that one.
Sorry, are we far enough away from the thing?
Yeah, I think we've started
into this.
Yeah, I think we've started walking. We're about 4 or 5 feet away.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty easy. We can just call up to the ship, right?
Yeah, we'll call up to the ship, get them to replicate a couple of bolts.
I think as you're walking away, you hear a sudden disturbance behind you. Turning, you see, not with the guy you were talking to, but the trader next to him has grabbed the person he was arguing with by the front of his tunic. And you hear him shout,
"What did you say? How dare you, you blasphemer!"
What are you talking about? I never...
Gods, this one blasphemes against our Lord Yule.
What? No, I never said anything like that.
He takes our Lord's name in vain, blasphemer.
2 fully armed and armored guards come out of the crowd and grab the protesting customer under his arms. No, you got it all wrong. I never blasphemed. He's lying.
Right to my face he did. Sickening it was.
No, please. Without a word, one of the guards hits their struggling captive over the head with a cudgel that had been hanging at his belt. The man falls limp and unmoving in their grasp, and they drag him from sight.
Ray and Johnny are just sort of standing there watching this unfold, and
most people, I think, are averting their eyes, but yeah.
Well, we kind of can't help but notice.
Oh yeah, you can't help but watch. But I think,
I think with the, are we wearing like hooded robes?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's one of those like pull half the hood across the face, kind of like half watch, kind of try and be sly, step into the side of a building kind of moments.
Yeah, I think the vibe you get from the crowd is people immediately put their heads down and sort of, it's more like I'm not seeing it, didn't see it, don't look at me, I'm not part of this, kind of, do not also take me, as the unconscious and now bleeding form of this person is dragged away by these 2 guards.
Seems like there's some brutal punishment for speaking out of turn. We're going to have to be extra careful.
Absolutely. That's going to do it for today's episode. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, October 30th for the next chapter of Frontier, and we hope you'll all join us for that. In the meantime, you can head to pretendingwithdice.com for links to all of our online presences, including our Discord server, Ko-Fi page, merch store, all of our social media pages, and much, much more. So for now, that's our show. We hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.